then comes the third under the quantitative. Third approach or third method or third technique, as you say, is a survey research method. So essentially, we are studying the different methods under quantitative. So here, what you are doing is you identify a sample or you identify a person to contact, and then when you contact these people or a person, a series of questions in a preset order is being asked. Some questions will have a pre-fed options to answer, some will be open-ended. So that's what is, therefore it is known as a survey technique. You are meeting the person, you are collecting the data, and based on the data analysis, which is using a statistical tool, the data, because you are using in a manner collected here, can apply the statistical tool techniques, etc., can be applied. Therefore, what comes out is a more realistic, quantifiable data. The form or the series of questions, as I told you, that is tool is known as a questionnaire. So questionnaire will have a set of questions. Some will have pre-fed answers, some will be open, which is like reason why you gave that answer, and any other those that is allowed to be given by the consumer as it is. It can be done in person, over the phone, or send an email, etc. So that's also advantage of it. And each of this method has its own relevant advantage, etc. So in person is better than the mail or a telephonic, etc. But however, in person takes time. A person has to be available, those kind of. So that's the one, this thing. It's a strong tool that allows you both kind of a data gathering, quantitative and qualitative. So most of the questions which are with the pre-fed option of the answer, you are actually quantifying it. And there are some answer question which is answering reasoning, or which situation you will not buy this brand, or say which situation will compel you to change the brand. So those are remains open-ended, but that still reveals the mind of the consumers. Okay. This survey method is also advantageous for measuring attitude and motivation, as we are going to probably look back behind. Flexibility is very high, and you have a choice of way to ask questions, the kind of options to give there, etc. Data collection method, the timing can be managed well by putting more field force. You collect data in a less number of time, you meet more people in less number of time. So those are the advantage. The versatility which this survey method can offer, its speed, it's relatively lower cost than the other two methods. Please remember. Okay. Survey technique is effectively used for various marketing problems. So it could be during the product planning stage. So product people use it, demand forecasting, yes, or a new product launch related things, etc., or the brand position, brand perceptions, etc. So these are various areas where the survey method is being used. Okay. We come to this quantitative survey method can be also done as follows. So these are the way the survey method can be done. Okay, we had briefly touched while I was there. Personal interview, the mail, the telephone, and the internet survey. The new age, this thing is a internet survey. So we will quickly study this four methods to do a quantitative survey. So survey is one of the method under quantitative research method. We are at a research process. We are understanding research process, and as you see on the top, the design a primary research, and under that we are studying various way to do things, quanti and quali, and we are studying quanti. So there are three methods to quanti. In one is the last one is a survey, and in the survey, how survey can be done, that is these four options. So let's study them. Persons are contacted face to face. The purpose of the meeting is conveyed. The prefix time and all is arrived. Respondent is briefed about objectives, etc. Respondent feels that he is participating. Doubts can be clarified. Questions can be well structured and explained so that what you get is the right answer. Okay. Different formation of a question has a psychological and a scientific logic behind. So Simmental differential scale, as we talk, or yes, no, even simple, or multiple choice questions. So very open-ended, close-ended. Close-ended will have a specific answers. Open-ended will be open to consumer to tell what he feels about it. So it allows verification of an actual respondent, method of sampling. So sampling, this thing when defined. So before doing a survey, before administering the questionnaire, the person is supposed to check whether this person meets the sampling criteria. So whom you are meeting is the right person whom you have met, and therefore a survey tends to have an inferences which can be probability can be applied to the larger audience. So that's another advantage. Uh, you have a choice of using various supporting medium or a supporting tool. So you can show the exhibit, you can show advertisement, you can show cue cards, etc. to help customer, one is understand what the question is, or give him a clarity of what kind of answer he is supposed to give. So that's why this is a very powerful flexible method. Even you can do this aided unaided response monitoring. So question is asked in such a way where probably you try to gather the unaided response, then you try to aid the customers. Which are the recent advertising on the automobile have you seen? So that's an unaided response. So will the customer say Bolero Neo, which is currently very high on television, say for example, uh, he may or may not give. So then you create an aided response. Okay, sir, I will call out a name of the advertisement. You tell me whether you have observed. So then you call out Hyundai, Alcazar, this, that, etc., Bolero Neo, and then customer says, yeah, I have seen Bolero Neo also. So but that's an aided recall. So those kind of things can be built into survey method. Profile literacy, etc., unless it is one of the sampling criteria. Otherwise, because there is a person to explain the question, it can be administered even among illiterate people, and various nature of answers can be obtained. Every method, this also has a limited limitations. You need a trained and experienced interviewer. The person who's doing this has to be trained. He should know the objective. He should know why this question is asked in this manner, what these options of the answer means, etc. This method is time consuming, means you have to really fix up a time, go to consumer when he's available, etc. Therefore, there is a cost involved. A respondent is also supposed to give the promised time. Otherwise, what happens? They call you, and when you start an interview, you are supposed to have 45 minutes of the time. In this respondent suddenly in 15 minutes tells you, boss, I have only now additional 5 minutes. Ask me whatever you want to ask. So you are in a hurry and you may not complete the complete questionnaire. Interviewers, buyers also starts coming in. Interviewer who's going and meeting various customers have built in his own observations कि भाई ये question में लोग यही answer करते हैं, ये question में यही answer करते हैं. Now this starts influencing while he narrates the questions. At times he tells even the respondent, sir इसमें तो mostly लोगों ने ये बोला है वगैरह. So that way he starts feeding the bias, and that bias may become very big limitations. So coming to the mail survey method, there's a second. We studied the personal interview, everything about it. Now we come to the mail survey method. Here the approach and the subject is reached through a mail. A questionnaire is sent to the respondent. There is a covering letter which gives the objective, etc., gives them the reason why their participation will yield what kind of benefit, etc., and then indicates the prompt reply. There is a business reply cover, etc., also is provided, so that respondent doesn't have to spend money, etc. This will facilitate a respondent knowing that he has to spend less time, no money, other resource to be utilized, and therefore they participate. Of course, such thing may require a follow-up for knowing whether questionnaire is received or not, whether he has answered or not. If not, by when will he answer? So those kind of aspects are there. Limitation is postal delivery time is a lag. Yani, country to country this differs. So what is a lag that is in your postal system, that much you have to tolerate. Respondent may not fill all the questions. You do not have a control on it. Okay. He or she may not understand your question, and therefore he may pass it or he may give a wrong reply. Uncertainty of meeting response number of targets. While face-to-face you are monitoring daily, you can put required pressure. In this, you will come to know at the end of the time or closer to the time whether you are going to get that many number of response. Accuracy, because the respondent has not access to clarity of questions or an answer options given, etc. Accuracies tend to be lower than the personal interview. Okay. Then comes the third, which is a third survey method, which is a telephonic method. It allows you to reach to the larger number of respondents in a shorter period of time, assuring you the required coverage. So you tend to probably get a required number of coverage that is needed for a survey. allows you to explain the question, which is also an advantage of say personal interview, allows you to also explain the answer, clarify doubts, etc. And when you do it, and a response is supposed to be close to his real sense, and therefore, and other than there is a noise barriers and those things, otherwise the respondent is also the one who receives the response also is supposed to enter the right answer. Ideal for capturing feedback of a program going live or radio, TV advertisement, etc. And convenience of a respondent can be considered for fixing a suitable time. Here, generally what happens, either the direct call is made and respondent is asked, but the number of questions will be less, so there is no formality and other thing needed. Otherwise, many times a lengthy questionnaire is sent, the respondent is told that we will call you back, have this handy, and when when the interviewer calls up, he expects that you pull out that question, and then he or she starts asking you question by question and enters. Both approaches are possible. Limitations of this particular telephonic survey method, some of them are you do not know who's actually answering you. Okay, so you may have a certain profile in mind and you are called up and then you are told that okay, I will answer, but then whether it's the right person is answering or not, you don't know. Non-committal answers are more likely, and people knows that he is not been observed. People knows that after the call there is no other binding on him, etc. No personal information can be gathered, so you cannot really gather required demographic and other crucial data, many times required for the analysis, dissecting the analysis in a different way. You cannot do an in-depth survey. In-depth survey is more a qualitative survey, and where a lot of discussion has to take place, even moderation has to take place, so that cannot happen. Okay, internet survey, which is a new age survey after the birth of email, etc., and a computer, this particular medium is becoming possible. It is possible due to this method among professionals and working class. You can, however, do this among only the people who are knowledge savvy, who are believer of such approaches, etc. The identified respondent gets a link. He's been given an email in which objectives and all are given, and then there is a link is given. Link, when clicked, takes him to the survey form, and there he has a ability to feed in the data. There are either prefixed options given, or he's been asked to explain, etc. So within the time frame, the possibility of getting the required number of response, etc., is also very high. You can follow with the same medium. Again, email can be sent at a regular interval, or this thing, etc. So that's the power. And then auto feeding of our data. No manipulation, expectation wise, person is given this in the right frame of mind. Data is collected and obtained in a very structured manner, so that analysis and all become faster. That's another advantage. Google form or Survey Monkey, these are the one which if you have used, you know that an internet survey method. This method is quick to implement, quick to test run. You can test run it quickly. You can quickly reach out to thousands and people, create a follow-up mail quickly, etc. It breaks the geographical boundary also, like you can reach out far and wide. That's what it tries to tell you. Survey participant can be prompted also. So there are certain government surveys, or there are certain other nature of surveys which are open to public type. So then the participation is garnered through the various ways of communication, banner ad, pop-up ad, etc. Maybe the incentive can be offered to the participants. So early birds will get, or something, available at the back. People are told that, this survey findings will be shared with you, etc. So the people who are keen to know what is happening on that front, etc., are willing participants. So because they are getting something, so it can be incentivized also.